One, while the guy is producing service, he's producing results, he's getting rewarded from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every second of his life is a reward. Because every time he's picking something, he's thinking, this is for Allah's sake. This is for Allah's sake. Every time he's picking something, he's getting rewards. If the same other person is doing the same job, he's picking that guy's picking the fruit, but in his heart he's thinking, this is for my Creator. Allah has given me these hands, this opportunity, these abilities to help. This guy is just pulling it out and it's only for me, it's for me, it's for me. I'm going to gain some money, I'm going to do this. So you see the difference, the act is the same, he's picking his fruit, the other guy's picking his fruit, he's only picking it for money, this guy's picking it for Allah's sake. He gets money and he gets a reward. This guy gets money and he dies and rots with that, and then earns for himself nothingness. Because he didn't give anything for others, in reality for Allah's sake, so he gets nothing in return. So it does not go beyond the grave, and the door of the grave cannot be closed. So the most anxious or the greatest anxiety is the future of what's going to happen to us when we enter that grave. Yes, just as it is a duty to give a passport to those travelling abroad, so is it also a duty to give passport to those travelling to post-eternity, to a never-ending realm. I want to leave from here and I want to go to Turkey. I want to go to Arabia. I want to go to China. They give me a passport. They give me a visa. They stamp the visa, say, okay, you got permission to go. Now, without a passport, would they allow me to enter into their country? No. Just as he's saying, you give permission and you give a passport for people to travel from one place to another, in the same way, you need a passport to travel to post-eternity. You need to travel to the other realm, a passport. They're going to ask you on the other side, where's your passport? You came here, you got no visa. You came here with no la ilaha illallah. You came here with nothing in your hand. You got no passport, you got no visa, you're not coming into this place. To post-eternity, and to give them a light for that dark way. The only thing that's going to be lighting up your cupboard, your grave, is the good works, the Quran that we've read and the good things that we've done is going to be lit up there. In darkness, imagine desolate, isolated, in a solitude, in some little coffin. Imagine you're just there and you are aware. And now snakes are coming, worms are coming, cockroaches are coming, they're starting to bite on your thing that you saw while you were living, this physical existence, and they're taking away little chunks by little chunks of that existence that you had. The only thing that you live for, and that's been taken away. At that time, the light and the way, and it's such a duty that no other duty bears any importance anymore. The duty of saving somebody's iman and somebody entering the grave with faith, there is no other duty greater than that duty. We think to ourselves, if you look at a big picture of things, right? A person opens his mouth and says something, right? You send your children to school, and at school they say, oh, you know, we come from evolution and this happened and that happened, right? You think to yourself, look, they're just doing their job, they're just explaining a few things. In the big scheme of things, they're not just explaining a few things. They're ripping the child from somewhere to go to eternal happiness, trying to rip that child and take him towards eternal annihilation and unhappiness, eternal torment. Because the difference between faith, belief, and non-belief is the only passport into Jannah, into paradise, is Iman. Without Iman, without faith, no one's going to enter into paradise. And the degrees of paradise is what you have done, how much prayers you have done, how sincere you were, you know, if you fasted, if you went to Hajj, all of those are degrees of how much you achieve in Jannah. But no one will enter Jannah, into paradise, unless they have the passport of La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah in their hand, which is the belief. So that this duty is a duty that cannot be denied. You can only deny it through denying death itself and giving the lie to the testimony of thousands of people who die every day. You need to prove that people are not dying. Like today, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people have died today. This is a reality. If you can prove that people are not dying, that the grave is closed, fair enough. Then we don't have to worry about these issues. We don't have to think about these issues. But you cannot call the testimony of hundreds of thousands of people every single day dying a lie. It's not a lie. Everyone is entering the grave, and everyone in this room knows somebody they are close to have died. They set their signatures with the seals of their corpse. The corpse, their physical body, the dying, their spirit being drawn out of their physical body. That existence that once walked and talked, that heard and smelled and ate and enjoyed things, is spread. The physical body is no longer important. The spirit is left the body. Now this is a reality. It's a corpse. The body is there. You can see people dying every day. So death is a reality. Affirming this truth. Affirming the truth that you're going to go to post-eternity and you need a passport, and the only passport they're going to allow in there is that there is no God except for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is his messenger. Since there are mortal living and spiritual duties based on moral and spiritual needs, and the most important of those duties is this passport that we're talking about for the journey to post-eternity, and the pocket torch of the heart in this darkness of the intermediate realm, and belief, which is the key to eternal happiness, and instructions in belief and its strengthening that belief. Instructions in belief strengthens that belief, which is the key to eternal happiness. So every action that you do, everything that you read, everything that you're trying to learn, what we call knowledge that you're trying to gain, is in order to strengthen your belief. That's what it's for. Every prayer that you do, every time you worship, every time you read, your whole life, imagine you're like a sponge. You're just sponging up all this information. You're presenting yourself in front of your Creator every single day in order that you may have firm belief and strengthen that belief every day. That's why it's not enough to say, well, I believe, and then leave it at that. You can't just believe. You have to believe and keep on believing and strengthening that belief until it becomes so solid, becomes so hard that you are unbreakable. When on that day, when the devil comes to you and tries to deceive you, because the people that see beyond the grave and that, they say, the great scholars, they say, when the devil comes to you, he can only deceive you by giving you scruples. In other words, doubts. He gives you doubts in your mind. He says, like, what if there was no God? And if you're not used to that question, and you start to question that concept, you'll easily give up your faith. You go, yeah, what if there wasn't?
Because you go towards shaitan's way.
That's right, and you're doomed, you finish there. So the Iman, it's not just Iman that we have now, it's the Iman that the faith that we have, it's the faith that we must contain when that time comes. That's why people who know Islam and the great scholars would always pray, oh Allah, please make us be able to say the last words, to be La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah before we die. They don't depend on the Iman or the faith that they have, because they don't trust themselves. They don't know what's going to be of them. What do? They ask Allah for guidance. They ask Allah for help. Because they know that if the Iman is not strong enough, the shaitan will deceive them in the last minutes, and that Iman will be taken out of your hands. Belief, which is the key to eternal happiness, and instructions in belief and strengthening. For sure then, the learned who perform those duties will not do that with ingratitude. They will not count it as nothing.